Hello, I'm Mark Soren, and this is Quality of Character Oral Presentation. My quality of character is trust and trustworthiness. So, as a coach, as a football coach, and anything, but as a head football coach, one of the things that we've seen over, 50 seasons or so, not 50 years, but 20 so years of coaching is that kids who trust each other play better. It encompasses more than just one quality, really. It's a word that talks about many different things and requires many different things for it to be had on a good team. It's also an easy concept for kids to understand. So as coaches talk about trust as we are on the field and we're talking to kids about this, they understand what trust means. It's also something we can use every day. We can see it every day. We can talk about it in many different contexts every day. We talk about, sometimes we talk about becoming a man and being reliable. Talk about character that goes with it, and honesty that goes with it on every day. And this is what is required of people to be good teammates and good people. So, definition of trust. Good Merriam-Webster. We've got character, we've got ability, strength, and truth. Right? Assured reliance. Talk about being trustworthy, is confidence or dependable. So these are key words. These are words we use every day in practice. I would say every day. And the one that that in the context we use it is are you reliable or are you dependable? So when we talk about character, and this is again one of those key words we use every day. Are you going to do the right thing? Are you going to do the right thing when no one's looking? Not just something that's advantageous for you. And being able to trust that a person is going to make good decisions, whether it be, so on the field, clearly it's about doing and executing the right thing. It's about not getting penalties. Could be about anything with that. Could be just doing your job. Off the field, it means are you going to make bad decisions? Are you going to get in trouble? Are you going to get suspended from the team? Are you going to be someone that your teammates can look to do the right thing, and that you're going to be there every day for them? So we talk about ability in there. Ability, everyone thinks ability is the key trait in sports. I suspect that if we were to break it down and looked at it clearly in college and the NFL, ability is huge. But when you start looking at high school sports and below, certainly ability makes a team great, or a player great, but really it's reliability, right? And trust and selflessness. So do you trust in your own ability, right? Do you trust in the abilities of your teammates? And we talk about, can you rely on your own ability, right? Reliability. Can we rely on your ability? It doesn't matter if you're the best player. We only have one best player. We've got a lot of other kids that we need to be a part of this. And they aren't our best players, and they're not going to have the best ability. So they're not all equal, right? But we trust each athlete, his or her, will do the best to get their ability, to use their ability. Truth is part of the definition of trust. We start out on Mondays talking about truth. It's the day where we watch film, where we condition. Have you done the right thing over the week? Have you, what does it look like during the week? Are you ready to hear the truth about how you played? And this is an important piece to what we do every day. So the power of trust. So from Ethics 101, the quote is, "To be trusted is a greater compliment to be loved." And I've thought about this a bit. I'm like, is that right? Is that right? I suppose the piece that comes from it is, you may love someone and not trust them, right? And you'll love them and you'll love them unconditionally, but you might not trust them. So if someone trusts you, it's a different way of reliability in a way, right? So, but it shows the power of trust. The power of love is so powerful. The power of trust also is powerful. And the dependability of trust. The man who trusts men will make fewer mistakes than he who distrusts them. So, teams that I've had that didn't trust each other, they were trying to do someone else's job. They didn't think that their teammates would do the right thing. So they would try to do 2 jobs at one point, and it would just get to a point where we would get burned. You know, that's just the way it was. You can't do 2 jobs. You have to trust your teammates are going to be there. So I think that the mistakes are made not trusting people are greater than the mistakes made, even if that person isn't as good as you'd like them to be, but they're doing what we know they're going to do, and we know what to expect. That's another big piece about trust, knowing what to expect. Examples, so I talked, you know, with us, with the teams I've coached, I mean, I've had some good teams too, but I've had some very talented teams that were 1-7, and they just didn't trust anyone. They didn't trust anyone. I think they really started with themselves. They probably didn't trust themselves. And they just did their thing. They thought about themselves more than they thought about their teammates. I've had 5-5 teams go to playoffs and win playoff games that were less talented than 1-7 team, but they trusted each other and did their jobs. And it was one of the most gratifying years I've ever had, and it was 500. I think in the professional ranks, the example that clearly the same sort of things, but I think like, and the same thing with us too. I mean, is a kid faking an injury? And it doesn't matter if we think they're faking or not. They're going to be held out. You know, are they doing everything they can to get back when they are injured, or are they just out, at home sleeping, taking a nap? Who knows what they're doing, right? I suppose in the pros, it's also about holdouts and those internal disputes, which vary year to year. A few years ago, it was the Patriots didn't care about each other, and they were mad at Belichick. And this year, it's the Steelers and how they're falling apart. It's required at all levels. It's important at everywhere. Athletes need to trust that coaches care about them. They need to know that. They need to know that coaches are prepared and coaches are reliable. They need to trust in that about their coaches. Coaches need to trust that athletes are going to show up. Are they going to be at practice? Are they going to be at a game? Are they going to physically be there? Are they mentally going to be there? Are they going to listen when they're told the truth? And are they going to do that at a game plan? I don't need great catches. I just need to catch it when it hits you in the hands. Like, those are the things that we're looking at doing and trying to get done on a daily basis. So, we all must be dependable or trustworthy. So athletes depend on coaches, parents on coaches, coaches on administrators, administrators on coaches. Right? Dependability, reliability is based on trust. If we don't have these things, like this right here and this here, the coaches and the administrators and this, we can, as coaches and athletes, we can do this. But this is what makes teams work, right? If these parents can trust the coaches and depend on coaches to treat their kids fairly, that's a point where that's something that makes it even more powerful when everyone's on board. The quote, the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is trust them back. That's the reciprocating part. That's the part where they have to give back and forth, the give and take, and there's a little bit of a leap of faith there. Phil Jackson, good teams become great ones when the members trust each other enough to surrender the me for we. This goes along with a lot of what we talk about as well, selflessness, not being selfish. You trust one another. You're not thinking about you and how it affects you. You just trust your teammates, and a job's going to be done. So trust brings out talent. That's the winning records and the losing records. It just allows people to do their jobs, right? Trust encompasses many traits required by a great teammate: character, reliability, ability to a certain extent, at least doing your job to your ability, and trust required of the program must be reciprocal. Like, everyone must be on board with this. Otherwise, there isn't that trust. It's all encompassing. There's the references, and thank you for your time.